It can make your own pieces. It chooses where for its turn. They can move your own pieces and just move their pieces.
All right, need everybody's attention here. Okay, we're going to be doing our activity next. And for our activity, we are going to be playing a game we call Powers Chess. Okay, Powers Chess. In Powers Chess, I have many different colors of chess sets, and depending upon the color of chess set that you receive, your pieces will have a power that they don't normally have in regular chess. Okay? Listen, I'm going to talk about each of the colors. Now, I do not have 20-something of each color, so you may not get your first preference the first time around, okay? But we will do our best to move you around, and you'll get to play with different powers and try them out and find out which ones you like. Okay, first up, the white pieces, which are our normal white pieces, okay, have the ghost power. You all have played ghost chess already.
Yes.
So if you have the white pieces in Powers Chess, your pieces may move through your own pieces.
Nice.
Okay? If you have black pieces are zombie pawns. Okay? It is a little bit of a complicated thing, but if you have the black pieces, you will not start with any pieces except for 8 pawns and a king. Your pawns can move only forward like a king, so they can go diagonal or forward,
Or
one
sideways.
square, or sideways.
Yes, they move sideways.
Or sideways.
They can never move back.
But they can never move backwards,
Do zombies
and they
ever
can
move
capture the way in any way they move. Also, at the start of your turn, if a zombie has been captured, a zombie pawn has been captured, you may place it back on the row next to your zombie king. If your zombie king is eliminated, then you don't get to regenerate any zombies.
Nope, you lose the game. So this is a game, if you're playing with a zombie, you will, if you lose your king, you lose the game. You don't have to be checkmated, you can just lose the king.
Yes. Yellow is the power of Helios, or the power of the sun. If you capture a piece, your opponent can no longer promote to that piece. Okay? So if you capture a bishop, no bishops for your opponent on promotion. If you capture a queen, no queens on promotion. If you capture all of their pieces, they cannot promote. And the pawn is stuck on the back row. Okay? Aqua is the power of burrowing. You can move your pieces under any of your other pieces to emerge on the other side if that square is empty. Okay? So for example, if this were an aqua bishop, this could burrow to here. Or even this aqua pawn could burrow in front of the bishop if the square is empty.
Any piece may burrow, and you may burrow diagonally,
That is true.
forward or backwards.
Could you burrow onto an opponent's piece?
No, it has to be an empty square. Okay? Okay. Silver is armored pieces.
Do they have to
Okay?
attack?
Armored pieces may only be captured by pawns if they are attacked more than one time. So regular knights, bishops, rooks, and queens capture normally against the armored pieces. Okay? But if a pawn is trying to...
I thought they had to
We
be within
changed.
2 squares.
We
Okay.
changed. Okay. So the square that it's on has to be attacked 2 times to be able to be captured by pawns. It only works for pawns. Okay. Gold is the power of the merchant. Okay. You win the game if you have more points on the board than your opponent at the end of the game. You can also buy pieces with your opponent's captured pieces. So if you have a knight that you captured from your opponent, you may buy more gold pieces by letting your opponent put it back on its starting square, and you can pick any 3 points of material. So if you have 6 pawns and a knight, you could let your opponent have those back where they start and get a queen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Pink is the power of the spy.
Yay, pink.
If you are the spy, you can force your opponent to look away and when you make your move. It does not have to be a legal move, but if your opponent correctly notices an illegal move you made, you lose the piece that you moved.
Oh,
So pink is like a sneaky power,
it's like
right?
It has a catch to it.
You
Okay.
changed it.
Purple is the power of the void. Okay? When a piece captures another piece, all the other chessmen are pulled one square closer. That is, every piece on the board comes one square closer. Any pieces next to the void get pulled in and are captured.
I have a question about Spy.
Yes.
Are you able to cheat and move 2 pieces?
No. But you can cheat and move one piece.
Can you demonstrate void? Because I can't picture that.
And I don't really know about
If this pawn captured here, notwithstanding the fact that the position is illegal, this bishop gets captured, this pawn goes away, and everything goes one square closer.
So it's like a
To the-
tonic.
I did have a
everything
much
moves
simpler, better way to do that. That is not so confusing that every piece on the board gets
Then
moved.
have at it.
We're going to change the void to the vortex. Now, the vortex works similar. As a chess move, if you have the purple pieces, you may utilize the vortex. You will sacrifice your own piece, which will get sucked into the void. Every piece that is one square adjacent to it in its move pattern also gets sucked into the vortex. So, if this bishop were to vortex, every piece one square diagonally would get sucked in and sucked away. A rook would be sideways, a pawn would be the 2 in front of it, a bishop would be diagonally, a queen would be every square around it. This includes
Okay,
your
that's
own
more fun.
pieces.
That's more fun.
Okay.
Yes. A knight is a fun one because a knight would actually vortex in its pattern. Not every. So if this knight were to vortex, it would take this pawn but not this one. So the knight and queen are the most powerful vortex.
Okay.
I have a question about the vortex.
Yes.
What happens if you vortex the queen? I mean the king.
You immediately lose the game.
I mean, what I mean is like if you send him a piece and it's able to get that to the queen and you vortex it, just what happens to the?
Well, that should not happen because the king would already be in check. This would only happen if perhaps you were playing against zombies and they would lose the king anyway.
Or
So,
spy?
because remember, you're vortexing in the same way the pieces move, just a more limited range. Like a bishop doesn't vortex all the way across the board, just the 4 squares diagonal. A rook doesn't vortex all the way up, just 1 square up, down, left, or right. So, if a king were here next to the rook and it were white's turn to move, black has made an illegal move and would have to make a different move because it would be a vortex. Does that make sense? Because it would be checked. A pawn vortex is just the way it moves. So if this black pawn is here, you can vortex both of these and itself, of course. So it gives you the power to take your own and other people's pieces. And it's a lot less confusing than moving 16 pieces for each side every time it happens.
Okay. So,
Continuing on.
continuing on. The lime green pieces have the power of the mimic. When a lime green piece captures a piece, it can move like that piece the next time it moves.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's kind of, if you ever played plunder chess, similar idea of that.
So like if a pawn captures a queen.
It can move like a queen for one move.
One move.
Oh.
Its next move. Now, it doesn't have to be your next move. You can move other pieces, but the next time that pawn moves, it was like a
Correct.
queen. Duncan?
Yes.
You don't have normal colored green up there. You don't have dark.
Because I don't think I have dark green pieces right now.
I have a question.
Yep.
Well, let's save questions to the end because I have a few more to get through.
We do have dark green though.
What's up?
The question was about mimic.
Okay.
So if you mimic a queen, and the king near the queen, does that count as check?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Checks are automatic with the mimic power. Okay?
But
Yes.
then the next move it won't.
Correct. Correct. It loses the power once it uses it. Okay? Blue is the power of the torrent. Okay? If blue has a special ability to move on to its own pieces. And if it does that, those pieces are pushed forward 1 square. This can only work if the square in front of the piece getting torrented is empty. Okay? And it has to be it does not have to be the legal move of the piece that gets pushed forward 1 square. Okay? Orange is the power of portals. Any of your pieces, that is queens, rooks, knights, bishops, can swap places with your pawns as a move,
Oh, what? That's weird.
including the king.
Easy
Wait a
promotion.
Does that make?
No, no,
Does that
well,
make?
yeah, perhaps.
Does that make?
That's a really-
So it's,
Yes, pawns can go on the back row because of this.
Yes, it is not an easy promotion, by the way. You have to have your opponent's back row empty, and you manage to get a piece to it, not get captured, then port. It's not easy, but it is easier than advancing your pawn all the way up.
Okay, and dark blue, perhaps the most interesting of the powers, is the power of veto.
Oh.
The power of veto can sacrifice a piece, I think including a pawn here, okay,
Oh.
to force an opponent to change their move. So if your opponent's making a move that you do not like, you can sacrifice a piece and make them do something else.
That's funny.
Yes, quiet please.
For portals, can you move your piece all the way to another person's piece?
No, the move would be, if I wanted to portal for my move, instead of moving the bishop, I would swap where my bishop and pawn are, right?
We do have dark green, by the way, Mr. Williams.
Okay. Oh, we do have dark green. What was dark green?
They're
That was
regenerating.
regeneration.
I like that.
Oh,
That's too strong. Well, do we have all of these other colors?
Yellow, aqua, dark blue, silver, gold, pink, orange. We have one.
Yellow.
I want you to rock list are dark orange and
Dark orange would be the same tree. People like that. Huh? No, crab it's so weak compared to the other.
Aqua, burrow,
There is one more power. There is one more power, and that is dark green. Dark green will have the power of phasing. Okay?
You can move, here's how it works. You can move, if you have the dark green pieces, your pieces can move onto the letters and numbers as if they are extra squares. Your opponent cannot move onto there. So it is a safe place to put your pieces. Now, you may only stay on the letters and numbers for a number of turns equal to the point value of the piece. So a rook may move on to a letter or a number and stay on the letters and numbers for up to 5 turns. If
King
you do
is
not
worth
move,
0 to this end.
Oh, dang it.
no, it can move for 3. For 3 or 4. So the king can hide effectively on the letters and numbers for, but it must move back onto the regular squares. If it does not, the piece is gone. It's sucked into the phase.
It gets enclosed in the wall.
Capture what's on the piece.
No, because they can't move onto there.
Can you capture a piece?
When you come off of it, you have to just go off of it 1 square. You cannot go from, for instance, if you were to move your bishop, let's say you were to move your rook onto the number. It can stay there. You may move down to here, but you may move off of it any one of these squares you could see. So you can come off of it onto this square if you like. And capture the pawn. Yes, but you cannot come off of it diagonally because rooks don't move diagonally. You must come off in the same direction the piece moves. You cannot go more squares than the piece can legally move. You just simply treat this as an extra square. So you could move to here and move all the way down and then come off.
So moving all the way down the numbers counts as a move, right?